shot a 90.
Yeah, no, I know you did.
I'm off 5 and I shot a 90. That's the happiest I've ever seen him on the show. How early on in the round did you say to a man who's played at the Masters, how did you get onto Augusta? Did you win a ballot?
Has Live Golf got their act together? Oh, here we go again. Another episode of your favourite golf podcast. It's me, Tom Green. It's this guy, Tom Price.
Hello, listeners, and indeed viewers on the YouTube and the TikToks. Is that how you say it?
God, you really show your age at moments like this, don't you?
Do you know what? We talked about this just before we started. TikTok is popular with everyone. I just went to see Howard, my golf wizard.
Oh, yeah.
Who none of you are allowed to go and see. He's my pro, right? He's mine. You don't go and see Howard at Golf for You in Kent. And he's like, I don't know how old he is. Definitely over 30. He's like 50 or 60. Obsessed with TikTok.
Yeah, I think it gets different people. My mum is obsessed by TikTok as well. But when you get into it, you end up going down a rabbit hole of certain types of TikTok. Like my TikTok is now pretty much 90% golf content. Bad golf swings.
What's the other 10% then for Tom?
Porn.
Yeah. Golf and tits.
Yeah.
Golf and tits. Golf and tits.
That's it.
Welcome to our new show, Golf and Tits.
There is actually some content creators who sort of cross over those things. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm hoping to go into.
I'm not going to name. They've got so many followers. I'm not going to name them. They'll hate me.
I'm certainly growing a pair myself in the hope that I can do that eventually.
I would like you more with breasts.
I think a golf man bra is a new bit of merch we could be doing.
Yeah, that would
just
be
with
good.
golfers ruining my life on each cup. Hi guys, welcome to the show.
Welcome back to another episode. As always, thanks to our friends at Pitch who are looking after us again today. Thank you so much, Pitch in central London.
Yeah.
The best, the sexiest, the most lavish indoor golf place.
Yeah, and
in the world.
Deal well with a double room booking error, don't they?
Oh no,
that's gone well. No, it's gone well, and it was
has
our
gone
fault.
well.
It was on us, and they've sorted us out, and here we are in a slightly different spot.
Bloomin' Adidas.
Exactly.
Unless they want to sponsor us, in which case we love
Hey,
Adidas.
Adidas, what's going on?
No, I love Puma.
Lovely kit. Puma's nice.
Yeah, at this point, thank you so much to our friends at Puma and Cobra who help keep this thing on the straight and narrow. It's always appreciated.
Talking of straight and narrow.
Oh, he's
So I'm allergic to links. A segue makes me just hot a little bit. It was quite a good segue.
Is it a driver thing?
No, so we played the other day, and it was amazing. I just really want to talk about it because it was so much fun to finally play golf with you.
I want to start with an apology.
Yes. To me or to the listeners or to your family? Who's it to?
No, to you.
Okay.
Because, dear listener, I walked off the golf course at 9 holes.
When I came in after 18, I had a lot of people saying, was Tom Green okay? What happened? And because obviously you'd gone by that point, I really had to do some reputation management. Because we're now on this sort of podcast, vlogcast, TikTok, juggernaut together.
Golf celebrities.
I feel like I have to protect you. Whereas previously I'd have hung you out to dry and say, yeah, he had a massive tantrum, snapped 3 clubs, naffed off. Now, because we're after the likes, I had to say, no, he was fine. He just had to go back because of some wedding admin. Total lie. He had a massive strop.
I'm not a stropper on the golf course.
No, you go dark.
Yeah, I go dark.
Yeah, you go dark.
Yeah. I'm a go quiet, don't want to be there anymore, hate it. But I won't push through that. Whereas you will push through that. You will go through the dark and then you'll get 18 done. And I actually think it's a really impressive trait of someone who could be playing bad and still get the round done. Well, because I just go, screw this, I'm done.
So what happened was, Tom and I had a tee time book for Saturday afternoon and got massively overexcited. I was doing a qualifier for a tournament at our club. Tom decided to do a card.
Oh, but by the way, on that, the only reason I didn't do the qualifier, again, what we said last week on the show,
because you weren't the right caliber of member.
I wasn't the right category. This is so annoying
to qualify
to play in. What was it called? The Champs, was it?
This is the
Cup.
This is the President's the qualifiers for the President's Cup, and the top 64 scores go through to play each other in match play. The bottom 64 go to the Europa League.
Yeah.
And what happens is all the players who think they're really good, they stuff up on the first round, end up in the Europa League, and then abandon the competition because they're so
embarrassed.
Because they're so embarrassed, and their ego is so. I've done that. Spoiler. I've done that. I'm sticking around Europa, mate. I'm going to go full city in Europa.
But let me explain to the listener who doesn't know the ins and outs of it, because I, until recently, didn't know the ins and outs of these 3 things. There's 3 big wooden boards in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
And these are the ones you want to be on. There's the 3 big ones. There's the club champs.
I couldn't list them, but go
on. So
there's
club champs, which I think every major club will have, which is a scratch tournament.
Yeah.
This is the best player at the golf course. So there's that. Yeah. I ain't going to do that. Obviously.
Well, at our course, there's one guy who's unbelievably good. He's Welsh.
The Welsh guy.
Oh, like me. But he's actually excellent. He's got the thing where he hits the ball and it sounds different.
Yeah. How much do you want to be that guy at the golf course? Because I want to be him more than anything in the world.
He walked in, and my son, who is now a golf nut, went silent, which doesn't happen because he's like me. My son keeps talking, and he just went silent. And I'm like, "What's okay? What's happening? Are you okay? Are you choking on a chip? Should I not have given you that Guinness?" And I didn't give him Guinness. And he went, "It's Rodri. It's Rodri."
Rodri, that's his name, isn't it?
Rodri is a lovely guy. As well.
It's funny though, because obviously Rodri, Welsh guy, very good golfer. But in the world of golf, not that good.
He's off +2, Tom.
Which is great.
Which is amazing in our little world, but the other people are on a different planet.
But don't you think it's quite funny that there's this small little ecosystem of golf in North London where you, as your +2 handicap, you're the man. Totally. It doesn't matter what your job is. It doesn't matter what your home affairs are like. You walk into that golf club and you're +2, you're the man.
So do you assume now, projecting this onto Rodri, that he walks home, sees his other half, and he's like, I'm the best at golf in this house? Because if you assume that, you're wrong, because his other half, she's off +2 as well.
No.
Yes.
Ah.
And they got one kid. Imagine that kid.
They got to play on the tour, right?
You've got a lot of pressure there. That is a Charlie Wood situation.
I want to be... I just think it's funny. I just think the idea of being the best in a small ecosystem is quite a funny idea, because you're not that good. Like, you're not good enough to be on the PGA Tour or the DP World Tour, but you are in this small chasm of London.
Yeah,
you're the man.
Yeah. And for me, that's all I need. That's all I would need.
I'm
happy to be the man in a 4-ball. Hell, I'm happy to be the man in a 1-ball.
Yeah, I'm happy to be. As long as I'm beating myself, I'm all right.
I'm not the best player when I'm playing by myself, but there we are. Look, once again, we've dug down and we've found out the whole thing that keeps us playing this sport. We're just playing ourselves, guys.
On that though, that's a really interesting line that you said. I'm not the best player in myself.
Yes.
Have you heard of the concept of the second golfer? Do you know about this?
Go on. No.
So this is really cool. So the second golfer, and I don't think I'm going to do this loads of justice, and there'll be loads of people in the comments going giving more information.
Yeah.
But this is just off the top of my head what the second golfer is.
Yeah. Okay.
So think
people in the comments now like this.
What's he going to say wrong?
Golf is ruining my life.
So the second golfer is the idea that, say you're on a par 3, for example, and then you duff the first. You go, I'm just going to take a second, and that second's beautiful.
Oh, that guy.
That guy. So throughout your whole round of golf, on every shot you take, the second golfer is there, relaxed, ready to cream one down the middle. And there's a really interesting theory. I know Eric Anderslang, who I love, talks a lot about the second golfer. Like, how can you bring that level of relaxedness into your first shot?
Is it kill yourself so the second golfer comes to life?
Could be, yeah. Could be, yeah.
But it's true, isn't it? Because the second golfer, he takes over, or she takes over on about the 15th for me, and I'm just outstanding.
Yeah,
by which point I've blown the round to pieces.
Yeah, and that's when Zen golf happens, and you sort of can relax about it. But I just think the concept of second golfer is really interesting.
Yeah,
that you've got all those shots you want in you, and you see them more often than not when you play a provisional. Yeah. You go, oh, why didn't I do that first time round? That's the second golfer.
Do you know what? This also, and we will come back to the fact that Tom abandoned me after 9 holes. We'll get back to that. As usual, we've gone down a...
Yeah, I need to talk about the bloody boards in the golf club as well, where there's so many tangents we've gone down.
So many. This is a multiple tangent episode. What are we, like 5 minutes in? So I had my lesson this morning. Do you know what? I'll tell you about my lesson wisdom. I'll recite my lesson wisdom after this. We'll get on to that in a bit later on. Let's go back to the boards.
So let's go one step back to the boards. So there's 3 boards at our golf club, Muswell Hill, you want to get on. There's Club Champs. There is... I think Craven,
the Craven Cup,
which is like a 2-ball thing, right? Something like that.
No, it's match play to foursomes, I think.
And then there's the thing that you have entered last weekend.
And already I'm now in the Europa for.
Yeah,
the President's
Cup. Did you not get through to the proper round? You got binned off it.
I shot a 90.
Yeah, no, I know you did.
I'm off 5 and I shot 90. That's the happiest I've ever seen him on the show.
When I text you saying I think it's impressive that you kept going, I wouldn't do that. I would walk off, and I think that's a detriment to me. But you're the better person by seeing that through.
Well, there's 2 reasons why I had to see that through, because my son was playing and I couldn't go home, so I had to just keep playing. First of all, right, that would be malpractice as a golfer, but also as a parent if I just naffed off. So I had to stay there. Secondly, because it was stroke play, you had to put a score in, otherwise it blows up everything, doesn't it? You have to finish with a score because it's stroke play. So that's why. So on like the 14th, I hit 2 balls onto the railway. 1, so 3 off the tee, boom. So 5 off the tee. But you have to keep going. I got an 8.
That is insane.
On net, but effectively, I think it was a birdie, 5, 6. Oh no, it was a par effectively, but it was 5 off the tee. And I got an 8 and 2 7s over the round. I'm actually pinching my palm now with anger as I start to talk about it.
But you're a better person for seeing that through.
I'm glad you're trying to make this into a positive. I think
it is a positive because I would have ripped the card up and gone, oh, well, I'll let the golf admins determine what happens from this point, but I ain't finishing this.
Here's what you need to do, right? And you don't do this enough in your life. You need to explore failure. Let me tell you, it's a great place to go, right? Dive into your failure cave. That's what golf is inviting you to do. Because whenever in miniature, if you play around and you dive into your failure cave, you get that 6 on the second on a par 3 or something. That's when the second golfer comes out, right? The other part of you that's actually relaxed and chilled suddenly plays beautifully, right? So I'm doing this on a large scale by having this whole round was like my quadruple bogey for the year, right? I've done a ridiculously bad round by what I expected to do early on in the year. So now for the rest of the year, I'm like, nah. Well. And now I'm hoping, I'm not secretly like, nah. I'm actually like,
I've got all the bad stuff done.
This is where it gets good.
I think golf does have a way of doing that, though, as a way of giving you really bad golf at the right time, and more importantly, really good golf. Yeah. I don't believe in spirituality or anything like that, but there is something spiritual about when I played on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
I haven't played properly really at all this year, and I went to go and play post work Wednesday, do the roll up, and I came third.
I know you came third because you sent me a screenshot. We have a fine tradition on our WhatsApp group of screenshots when things have gone well.
Yes.
As soon as they appear, here's the top 10. And he says something like, are you proud of me? And I'm like, I'm not your dad, Tom.
Be proud of me, Dad.
For God's sake.
My dad was never proud.
I genuinely was very happy. It was brilliant.
But to my point, the golf gods gave me that when I needed it.
Yeah.
They gave me a good score to get me back.
You're saying golf gods. It's more a sort of like a heroin dealer maybe gives you a freebie every now and again to keep you hooked. That's just a negative way of looking at it. But let's think about it in a celestial way.
Yeah.
They gave you that, but also every now and again they show you hell.
Which is what they did to me on Saturday, because they were like, oh, you think you're all good, do you? Playing 3 times this week, and you think you've got it, do you? Well, here's a quad, a double, a triple, here's a walk-off. Get back into your box.
And I think that's why you feel bad, because you did something you're not allowed to do, which is you just walked out of hell. No, the whole point about hell, according to Churchill, you just got to keep going, right? When you're going through hell, face forward and get onto that back 9, mate. And you naffed off, and I told everyone in the clubhouse that you were actually crying.
Yeah, that surprised me. Jay messaged me and said, are you okay? It's like, no, man, I've gone home. I've had a bad day. I've had a really bad day.
It was bleak. It was bleak.
But again, to go back even further to what I was saying, do we think it's fair that I wasn't allowed to play in the higher echelons of the club competitions because I wasn't 7 days?
Because you are already a 5-day plus member.
I'm already decent. I already play loads of golf. I already pay them loads of money.
Yeah. You're at Glastonbury and they're saying you have to turn away from the main stage.
Stupid.
Sorry, mate. Who's cool? The Killers are on. I don't know. Are they cool?
The Killers?
Yeah,
No, why not?
Whatever.
Billie Eilish?
But yeah, thank you, mate. Yeah, that's Billy Idol's on. But you've got to turn yourself away. You can't watch it. Of course, it's ridiculous. It's like a VIP pass. It's absurd. If you're a member, you should be able to play all those comps. Of course you should. And also, I'm sad you didn't, because you'd have absolutely fallen on your ass in the comp, which would have been immortalised. As it was, you dodged a bullet by walking off on the 9th. You could have had that score on your record forever, which I have now got.
Right at the bottom.
Like and golf criminal record.
So you shot 18 over?
19 over. It's 71 par. It was the first time we were off the whites, and I lost 3 balls. I shanked one, which I haven't done for years. I 3-putted like 4 times. I think I worked out if I'd got up and down on the 7 occasions I was right next to a green with a very up and down thing, I didn't get up and down once.
Yeah.
And each time I 3-putted after those. I mean, it was the full disaster.
I struggle to sort of conceptualize myself as a decent golfer when I've hit those shots, though. Yes. I quite like it when I go home, because I had this after that round. I went home and I saw like PGA Tour fail videos of Rory McIlroy topping it off a tee or whatever. And I was like, well, if he does it,
yes,
it's fine.
This is the important thing that makes you feel better. You have to always do that in whatever line of work you know. If you are a DJ, for example, and you've done a terrible show with rubbish links, in your head you're like, well, I'm no longer a DJ. I'm just a person.
Yeah.
But then you need to go and hang out with other crap DJs. I mean, that's how we came up with this. That's how we came up with this podcast, to be fair.
Hi.
And you feel better. And it's the same thing. I went into the clubhouse afterwards, so depressed. I saw another parent. Because the other thing about Saturday was it was the junior open day. And this parent came up to me and went, how did it go? And I just unburdened myself about my round. And she was like, No, I meant your son's round. How did your son's round
I
go?
don't care about
I
him.
don't care about that.
Do not care at all.
Not my problem at all. But interestingly, I spoke to 3 or 4 other people who had played that day, and they're like 2 other people who were both off 5 or 6, both shot 90. And I felt instantly saner. That's why you have to go and have the decompression drink after golf.
Yeah.
So you feel less mad.
Em knew something had gone wrong with my day when she came home. She was like, "Are you all right?" It's like, No, I'm not all right.
Very hard to explain.
Yeah, but it shouldn't annoy you as much as it does. But this is why this sport is so unfair, because it does annoy you, and you do deserve better.
It's awful.
You don't deserve a 90, do you? You don't deserve a 90.
I deserve an 85 the other day.
At best.
Golf is ruining my life. That's how we came up with this. Let's do some adverts. I've got to go and tidy my eyes because my mascara's going to start running in a sec.
Before we do adverts,
Yeah.
to get people across the ad break.
Go on.
I really messed up in front of a quite serious golfer on Friday. Yeah. I did something that's quite embarrassing, and every person I've told about the embarrassing thing said, "I can't believe you did that."
Find out more after this product hits your ears.
Oh, what a lovely product in your ears. That was great stuff. Welcome back to episode number 6 of your favourite golf podcast. It's Golf is Ruining My Life.
Can I just say, don't forget, we are now available on the YouTubes and the Twitters and the Instagrams. You can watch clips of the show, and you can watch all sorts of bits and bobs of me and Tom getting out there and doing stupid golf stuff.
Yes.
To avoid the reality of life.
Because life's awful.
Yeah.
Golf is Ruining My Life. Go and search it out. Go and subscribe, and you get all that good stuff there. So you want to hear about what happened to me in front of a quite serious pro?
I like a faux pas or a faux pas. Let's call it a faux pas.
Nice.
Things that you just get wrong on the golf course. For me, it's
trolleys on the tees.
It's trolling on the tees. It's playing out of turn when it's not ready golf. Well, I think we're all ready golfers now, aren't we?
We should be, yeah.
We definitely should be. But you have already told me this thing that you did, and it's really horrifying.
Yeah, I wanted to save this just for the podcast, and I think I told you 20 yards down the first hole.
It was first hole chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you, Tom? Well, here's the thing. It's great as well.
So gather around, friends, and let me tell you a story. So I went to go and play Woburn Golf Club, a very great, beautiful golf, the home of Ian Poulter, on Friday. So I went to go
He
and
actually lives on the course.
He does, yeah. Got a little hut, Poulter's hut. So I went to go play 18 holes, and I was with a pro called Simon Dyson.
Simon Dyson, wonderful player. He's played all the big tournaments as well. He's a really big guy. He's played some big tournaments, and he's been there, and now he's playing with Tom Green.
Well, I didn't know this. I knew that he'd play. I know he was a good golfer, but I didn't know to what extent he was a good golfer. I didn't know whether he just played European Tour or whether he played PGA. You don't search someone's Wikipedia before you play golf with them. Well, maybe you should.
You should when you're walking up the first.
Yeah, I hadn't.
Have a little look.
So I was chatting with Simon Dyson, who, by the way, is lovely and wants to come on the podcast, is going to come on the show.
Even after what you did?
Yes.
Is that because he's now Googled you and found out what you do, and he's like, I love Hits Radio?
Yeah, he loves
this
that.
Is great.
That mid-morning thing. So he wants to come on. But anyway, we were talking about favourite golf courses to play. We were all chatting about it. And I roll out my normally quite impressive anecdote of, well, you don't even know, but I've played the JCB.
When you first told me about that, when we were first playing golf together, I didn't know what the JCB was. I now know that the JCB is an absolute jewel in the crown of a British parkland golf course. It's incredible. I know I didn't know what it was. Forgive me. When you told me that you'd played it, and I didn't know what it was, the look of fury on your face when I had no idea what it was, you were so upset with me. It's probably the angriest I've ever seen you, and I've seen you six-putt.
It's just one of those courses that if you're in that golf YouTubey world that I love, it's heaven for those boys. So
it's amazing.
It's unbelievable. Anyway,
Yeah.
So, but I'm on a golf day with all golf influencers, right?
And you're trying to name drop the JCB course, which is obviously amazing, but for those guys, they're going to be like, that's just my office.
They were like, oh, we've all played it 6 times.
That's like me saying,
oh, for God's sake.
That's like me saying to you, have you been to a WeWork? Whatever.
Nothing to me. So I mentioned this, and then so Simon goes, oh, well, I've played a few places. And I was like, oh, tell me what courses you played. He's like, well, I'm going to say the big one. Yeah. And I was like, oh, the old course? I was like, did you get in the ballot on the old course? He was like, no.
Or Celtic Manor.
He was like, maybe Celtic
Manor.
Maybe play Celtic Manor. Did you play Celtic Manor? No, it's the Royal St. George's. No, not Royal St. George's. He went, Tom, I played Augusta. And I said, Simon, did you get on through the ballot? He went, no, Tom, I played in the Masters twice.
Just like the guy's a professional golfer.
I was
playing the ballot. That is
mortified.
Do you know what I mean? That's like you're on the radio and I come up to you and say, how'd you get on here? Did you win a competition?
Yeah. Your competition winner? No. He's played Augusta National twice because he's played in the Masters and he's played in the PGA and he's played in the Open and the US Open and came like top 5 in the US Open or something.
I remember seeing Dyson's name on all this. He was a brilliant player, brilliant guy, of course.
I know. But this was before, to give me a bit of comeback on this.
Did you say, sorry, Simon Dyson? Oh, yeah, no, he did. I was thinking of Steve Dyson, the Hoover guy or whatever.
This was in that gap in my life where I wasn't into golf at all. So I was into golf as a junior golfer, so the Tiger Woods era, and then I completely stepped away until 2019.
The happy years.
Yes. Yeah, the years where I wasn't sad.
Yeah, I know the ones.
And now I've stepped back in, and I think the vast majority of his success happened in those years while I was, 10, 15 years where I was away.
Sort of like me with Rihanna.
Yeah, you miss Rihanna, right?
I'm back into contemporary music now.
Yeah.
But I just sort of stepped away for a bit and she happened.
Yeah.
And, no,
it's
nothing.
like saying to Rihanna, do you ever get a number one? You released any music, Rihanna?
Did you win the ballot, Rihanna? Is that how you ended up on top of the Pops?
I felt like such an idiot.
How early on in the round did you say to a man who's played at the Masters, how did you get onto Augusta? Did you win a ballot? How early on in the round?
Well, it was at the lunch before we teed off.
Oh, jeez, man.
So we hadn't even really got to know each other at this stage.
Jeez, man.
He was so lovely about it, though, and Simon Dyson is a lovely man. I think he gives lessons, so you can go and see him if you want tips and tricks, and he does a bit of YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
I can't recommend enough. He's a really lovely guy.
Did he give you any tips? I mean, to be fair, I played with you too the day after you played with him, so he obviously didn't give you many tips and tricks, or did he?
The two things that I learned on that day. So it was a lovely day put on by Cobra Puma and Simon Dyson.
Thanks for the invite, guys. I loved being there. I had a great day.
You were really busy, weren't you? Were you busy?
Yeah, I was busy trying to break into Woburn. They wouldn't let me in. Security's incredible.
So Simon was there giving chipping lessons, which was really helpful, actually, because he taught me. It was quite cool because we were doing these lessons where you're like 7 foot off the green and doing proper chips. So not my 9-iron bump and runs. He was like, let's properly get a 54 degree in our hands and let's hit some chip shots.
I love those.
Which I was like, I never play these, Simon. He's like, no, but let's try.
And how was it?
Amazing.
Yeah.
When I had a bit of confidence with it, and I bring my chips a lot, sort of, if the line, do the line like inside the line.
Yeah, you mustn't do that. You got to come
outside
right
the
here.
line. I'd never done that. So he was like, keep your club outside the line, and that really helped.
Well, then you just feel like it's just a pendulum on a clock. Just whoop, whoop. It's just a bigger version of putting, basically.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling though. Like the more I get into like swing analysis, I really bring the club below the line, which isn't that
on the big swing as well, on the daddy swing.
Yeah, on everything, and it's not that great. I should be holding it out a little bit more.
I had that. That's the big lesson I had from Howard a couple of weeks ago.
Hold it out.
Oh my Lord, I had no idea. And what I felt bad was I'd been telling my son, who's learning, to do exactly the thing which I was then told, don't do that, you idiot. So I was like, oh, all right, cool. I've got to just dash back to sprint back to my son. Stop doing that. Don't do that. Which shows you how often, if you are teaching kids, don't teach them. Let the pros teach them.
Yeah, just give them the most basic advice.
Shut up, dad or mum. Shut up.
Your son's swing, very nice though.
Well, that was lovely. That was another moment on Saturday. Before Tom and I played, my son was teeing off in the Junior Open, and he was really keen to impress you because he's a subscriber.
Ah.
Because YouTube is his currency.
Was
mate.
Wilfred, wasn't it?
It's Wilf, yeah. YouTube is his currency. That's what he does. He loves watching it. He's watched all this stuff. In fact, he's the viewer.
Oh,
it's him.
Nice to meet him.
Yeah. Thanks, man. He's a brilliant golfer. He's really getting into it. He wanted to get a shout out, and I said I'd ask. Is he okay to get a shout out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could do it.
Yeah. This is. How do you do a shout out?
I don't know. I'd like to see you try.
Yeah, well, big up. The par machine, Wilfred Price. There we go. That'll do it.
Par machine.
Well, he gets triple bogeys most of the time, but he's doing great. He's only been playing 6 months.
That's
he's 10
so
years
mean
old.
from Dad.
But he played off the yellows, man. He's getting double bogeys off the yellows,
which is incredible.
Great. So he's
Your
on the
dad gets double bogeys off the yellows.
Here you go. So I'm really on a good day.
Yeah, on a good day.
I get double bogeys the other day. So he's teeing off on the first, and he looks up, and there's this guy he's been watching on YouTube, standing and watching him. Tom Green, who looks a bit, sort of, you've got your drink, you're watching him with your AirPods in, looking all cool.
Yeah,
and then he nailed it straight down the middle.
Yeah, he killed it. It was a great shot.
He was very happy with that.
A really good shot. He played well, and he has a really good. It's really nice when you see kids play golf because they've got proper golf swings.
Yeah,
like it looks so natural for
flexible.
him. To swing that golf club. Like really flexible. Like the club all the way back and all the way around. It's wow.
Parents need lessons Not the kids. The kids get the lessons from the teachers, then the teachers need to say to the parents, this is what you say.
Yeah, just give it a minute.
And it'll go wrong. Let them hit bad shots.
Back to Woburn very quickly.
Yeah.
Because I got a lesson in AimPoint Express.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about that on Saturday.
So this is really interesting. So I think most people watching will know what AimPoint is. It came, interestingly, the guy, so JD, who taught me, wants to come on the podcast and and give an insight, which is really amazing.
Come on.
Because the way AimPoint came, and I'm not going to do the story justice, so I'll do a really small version, is AimPoint came from a guy who was a coder in America who was in a gap between two jobs.
Right.
And he wanted to find a way of giving TV companies a way of overlaying a line on the green to show where the putt should go. So this was the idea for AimPoint.
Like on Tiger Woods 99 on the PS1.
Exactly.
The grid with the line. Okay, I like that. Nice.
Literally that. So he
Nice.
wanted that to give it to like CBS or NBC or Sky Sports and go, you could lay this over the green. So he did that. He created it, and the golf companies took it on board after lots of persuasion.
Right.
And then he had all this data. So he wanted to find a way of giving golfers a way of using the data. So then he got the AimPoint books, which are quite confusing to read and whatever.
Yeah.
And then they developed AimPoint Express, which is what you see the pros do with the fingers and the 3 and how much it breaks and whatever. And you feel it with your feet.
If you want to look like you've done AimPoint, just do that a little bit, and you'll impress people you're playing golf with.
If you want to look like it, just walk towards the hole.
Yeah.
Legs either side of the line.
Great.
Just go and then do a bit of this.
Yeah.
And then a bit of that.
Hey, have you done AimPoint?
bit of
Yeah,
that.
I've done AimPoint.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I bloody love AimPoint, mate.
Got this.
The good thing about AimPoint I found, though, was it was really nice to have any idea how a putt would break. Because normally you're sort of pretty much, for me, guessing. Like you look at it and go, maybe. But when you went and actually felt it out, you at least had some confidence that it's going to do what I think it is.
You've done that. I've got the image that AimPoint is about getting on your hands and knees, closing your eyes, just walking towards
Feeling
the
it out.
Yeah, I think it's left to right. That'll do.
Give it a go. But it was really good.
So what do you actually do?
So in the lesson, you're taught what. So most putts we have are graded between 1 and 5.
Yeah.
So the slope is between 1 and 5, right?
Yeah.
And he teaches you to feel what a slope of 1 feels like, a slope of 2 feels like, a slope of 3 feels like. Right. And if it's a slope of 3, you will get your fingers like this. You hold your fingers up, and then you put it at the hole, in the middle of the hole, and then you go 3 knuckles, and then that's your aim point. And that's what you get a point that's there, and just put there.
That is really like that is mathematics in golf.
Yeah.
That is really just breaking it down to a kind of binary approach.
It's really clever. I would recommend everyone has an AimPoint lesson. If there's someone near them that does AimPoint.
An AimPoint practitioner.
Yes, AimPoint Express is what it's called. So the AimPoint is the books. AimPoint Express is the fingers and the feel and all this sort of stuff.
Okay.
But it was just interesting.
Yeah, of course.
It was just really, really good.
Yeah. But how did you then putt, having had the AimPoint lesson? Did it make a difference?
So you can go further into AimPoint and get distance reads, but we never got into that. So we were purely doing breaks.
Okay.
I never read a putt wrong.
That's interesting.
Every putt broke the way that I thought it was going to, pretty much at the amount that I thought it would as well.
Okay.
So, but I left a lot short.
That's it. Now I'm like, oh, hello.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Because I had a couple of putts on Saturday, and bearing in mind I'm playing at my course, that I was like, I know it's that putt, and they just did completely the opposite.
Yeah, you will. I don't think it is even possible for that to happen when you've done AimPoint.
Here's my question, though. Here's my question, Tom.
Yeah.
When you got a putt, right, and there's a break on the way, it's doing that, right? So it's breaking, say, left to right.
Yeah.
But then over there by the hole, it's breaking right to left, because that does happen.
Double breaker. So
Talk to me.
there's answers for all of this. A double breaker, you will go. So if your ball is, this is quite audio, it's quite visual, but if you're wherever your ball is, walk over to the side of the green, find a point that's between your ball and the hole.
Yeah.
So the middle.
Yeah.
Read the break, slap bang in the middle. So do your legs either side.
Oh, right, do it in the middle.
Whatever that is, that's what you're doing.
No.
Yep. And it works.
Because I'm terrible with a double breaker.
So that's all you need to do. You just need to go to the middle.
So you go halfway, and then you read it from halfway.
Yeah.
And you go back, and you say, I'm going to do that.
Yep. I don't want to give all the secrets away because they're a little bit secretive about AimPoint because obviously it's
Is it like
it's a franchise and you should pay for this sort of stuff. So what I'm telling you is all a bit useless unless you've been taught to feel the gradients.
Right, okay.
So like what 1 is and what 2 is and what 3 is and what 4 is. But the double breakers are, you just find a point in the middle and you give it a go. And then for longer putts, you will find a point at like 30%. So you'll walk 30% of the way up and then walk 70% of the way up. Read them both. Whatever's higher, is your number.
I like the idea that AimPoint is a bit like going to see the Mousetrap in the West End. At the end, they say, listen, guys, we've told you all these secrets. Don't tell anyone, right?
Exactly like that.
Keep it to yourself.
It's like seeing Darren Brown.
I love it, the Darren Brown of golf.
AimPoint Express.
Okay, fine, I'm in. Yeah. Are you on commission because you've sold it to me?
Yeah, well, he wants to come on the show. JD will come on the show and explain it all to you. But
Seriously?
Yeah, but there's a reason why it's something crazy like 5 of the top 10 golfers in the world use AimPoint.
Really?
Because it just takes all the stuff out of it.
Yeah.
All the confusion. For me, the main thing that I got from it, someone that's not very good at putting, is I never read a putt wrong. I never went, this is going to go left to right, and then it went right to left, because that's the killer.
And what's really interesting as well, your putting was so good on Saturday when we played that you didn't even need to do the back 9.
No.
Because you knew you would hold them all anyway. So you went home. You saved a lot of time.
I'm done with this golf thing. I'm going to go home now. I don't need to do it anymore.
We are coming towards the end of the time.
I've got so much more to talk about.
Well, let's just do it next week. Just put it on the list for next week. Well, here's an idea. Why don't you tease what you want to talk about next week now? So people are like, I'm going to subscribe to this podcast and come and watch it next week.
There's only one thing that I am going to force through right now. And I know we're running out of time because it's going to feel a little bit dated if we do this next week.
Hit me.
Has Live Golf got their act together?
Are they popular with some Australians?
Yes.
Does that mean they've got their act together?
Maybe.
Aussie rules football's popular with Australians. Doesn't mean it's an international sport.
It looked good last weekend. It looked exciting. It was full. It was going off.
35,000 people at the golf.
Is that a lot? Is that not a lot?
That's good numbers, I think. Yeah, sold out. Yeah.
I mean, Waste Management, I think it's $250,000 a day, but that's Waste Management, so forget about that. But it went off. Fisher DJ'd, who I love. I'm a big fan of him. Cam Smith did a drink out of a shoe. Right laugh.
Yeah, I mean, sure, if that's what you're into, then that sounds like a really good time. All I was aware was when I saw a clip of it, I saw a man in shorts putting and a very loud bass line in the background. And that for me was almost like a sort of corporate stag do. So if you're up for that, have a smashing time.
Listen, I know that you're not into that sort of thing, but
watching old billionaires play golf. Yeah, that's not really
do it
my
for the
thing.
Saudis. I know you're not into that, but until now, I didn't really think they'd had the product down. Like what they were offering, which was this new alternative to golf, they weren't really offering. Whereas in Australia,
it looked like golf.
It was a golf product. They had a product that was different to the PGA Tour, and I was like, okay, that's what you're offering.
Did Cam Smith use AimPoint when he drank the beer from the shoe? Did he get the beer?
Three left.
That's 3 units there. That's nice.
Did you see Poulter dancing?
I did not see Poulter dancing, but hang on, let me close my eyes. Oh, God, I can see it now, and I don't want to see it for real.
It was vibey. I don't know, man. I just think what they had in Australia was a product. For the first time ever, they had something different to the PGA Tour, and I was like, if that was on TV, I'd watch it.
I would still say as well, to counter everything I've been saying that sounds very anti-live. I'm not necessarily anti-live. I mean, I'm anti-live for ethical reasons. But the idea of a disrupting tour, I've got no problems with that. No problems at all. Change everything.
Which is, I think, where we're now at. I think they've now, if they can continue the vibe that they had in Australia, that works.
But
that's my
it was so sad to see players like Cam Smith and Brooksy at the Masters, who I really love, and think we don't get to watch them week in, week out. That is a shame. And there should be a way of getting them all together.
That we can hold to next week, because I've got so much on that.
Oh, God, live chat next week. Okay.
It's a live special.
Okay, every time you get 15 minutes of live, I'll get 15 minutes talking about my son being good at golf.
Yeah, that's fine. Those are our two favourite things.
Those are our two indulgences. Fine, all right.
Thank you so much for watching another episode of Golf is Ruining My Life. You can watch it on the socials, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. It's all there for you. So far this year, we've already given away a massive driver.
Yes, we gave away the brand new Aerojet driver from our pals at Cobra. We'll be doing similar things again very soon.
So if you like freebies,
keep watching or indeed listening. I would say, Tom, you just said thanks very much for watching the podcast, which is going to really alienate those ear files.
Yeah.
What?
Is that okay?
The ear people. Doesn't work.
You know what I have got into as well recently is sticking on YouTube Golf on the TV while I'm making dinner and stuff and just having it on in the background. If you only ever listen to this podcast, go and try that, because it was actually really nice to have golf on the TV all in HD while I was just like making dinner. It was a really nice way of watching golf YouTube.
Also, bearing in mind your diet, or certainly my diet, that means we need to make a sort of, I don't know, I'm going to say a 6-minute YouTube podcast, because it's usually 4 minutes for the curry and then like 2 minutes for the rice. Do you know what I mean? So you put, why don't they do that? A microwave? Business idea. Microwave with a little screen on it.
That definitely exists.
So you put in your 6 minutes and it finds a video that's 6 minutes long. Then you can watch Golfers Ruining My Life while the curry ruins your insides.
You think I'm having microwave curries with these gains that I'm getting? Think
No.
these are built on microwave curries? Think
Okay.
these abs are built on microwave curries?
It's a high-protein curry heading towards Tom Green soon. That's
an
a
omelette.
good business idea.
10 omelettes a day.
Oh, God.
See you next week.
Open a window.